Okay, so I'm just gonna get something I forgot. Just want to show you. So if you're logging on, we're going to see how this works. It's the first time I've done something like this. It's a demo. I'm here. So it's the first time I've done something like this as a demo. So it's going to be interesting to see how it works. Now, everything's going to sort of be back to front because I put it at the front camera so I can see the comments coming up. And what we're going to do is, literally this has sort of been thrown at me today because this customer came in and I wasn't expecting this job in, but we're going to do it. So he's got, you can see that burn hole in this fabric, which is a kind of vinyl or leatherette. Now, this product isn't available on the market anymore, this vinyl, so he struggled to get it, and it's come out of a Lotus. That's what he said, a Lotus. So it's come out of there. So what we're going to do is we're going to repair that. So some of you may have already seen me do some videos on this, but this is going to be a live one showing you actually how I do it. So if I dart off, it's because I've forgotten something, which I have now. So I'm just going to clean the area with a little bit of solvent panel wipe, because I can see he's got some product on there. So hopefully, let's tilt you down so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. So just giving it a good clean. And what we're going to want to do is replicate this grain. So we're going to use a bit of a product from a company called Viper, which you've probably, look, you can see how dirty that was. And that's what he's got on there. It's some kind of like vinyl color cleaner crap that they put on these things. So you've got to get rid of that. Get rid of that, otherwise what will happen is the product we put on here, the vinyl filler, will not hold and it will just come off. So give it a really good clean. I don't need to clean all of it up here. The main area is just down the bottom where we're going to be working. So I can see a couple of people that I know on there have joined in. Premier Car Care. Premier Car Care. Just because he changed his name recently, I just want to make sure I got that right. And John, and yeah, so give those guys a follow. They're both really good. So let's see. Hopefully we can see that. Do I need to put, no, there we go. Right, so the products we're going to use. This is Viper. This is their Graining Pro. It comes in a twin cartridge system. I don't actually have the gun for this, and I don't use it. I just push it out to the depth that I want. It does have a little mixing nozzle on there if you want to use that. I don't use it. I just put it straight onto an onion board. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to just squeeze out 50-50, mix it up, put it onto the onion board, and then as we spread it on, it's going to start curing. So I just used the actual nozzle just to push it out. So, like I said, you want ideally sort of 50-50. I've been using this product for a while now, so I can kind of judge it by my eye and where it is in there. So a little bit there, that's it. All right. Now, this is, when it's warm, like it is at the moment, it's quite a fast curing product. Of course, I'm talking to you and not paying attention to what I'm doing here. So, with a spatula, just mix that up. Get it really well mixed. And as the two compounds come together, they're going to start to catalyze and cure. So you need to work quick when you're doing this, all right? Okay, so I've got enough on there to get a really good spread. So what I'm going to do is where I've got a nice piece of grain, which is up here, I'm just going to spread that out. Now the trick to getting a good replication of the grain is, you can see by using it this side, I've got some edges there. So I don't want to do that, so I'm going to swap over and just, so we've got a flatter spread. I'm just going to put a little bit more. You don't need it that thick, but you also don't want it that thin. All right, and the reason why you don't want it that thick, because you'll see in a moment, when we use it to replicate, to imprint the grain onto the area we're going to be repairing, if you have it too thick, what will happen is it takes longer to cure. So all I'm going to do now on this is just me just being a bit OCD and anal, because I'm just going to slice it down there, so it's going to give me a nice edged. I'm not actually pressing that hard, I'm just creating myself a little box, so when I peel it off I've got a nice rectangle shape. So let's see if I can lift that up and show you. So you can see how I've spread it on there. All right, you can see how quickly it worked. So mixed it on the onion board, spread it onto the area that I want to replicate the grain. It's got quite a nice coarse grain on here. Hopefully you can catch that in the light. And all I've done is just scoured the edge very lightly, just to give me a nice rectangle when I peel it off. Right, so now let's move on to the actual repair itself. So hopefully you can see that, there we go. So we've got the repair to do just there. I'm out of focus a little bit on this, and just so that you can actually see what we're doing. A little bit hard for me to work it this way, so please bear with me. I'll tilt it down a little bit more. There we go, just so, yeah, so that's the area we're repairing. So what I'm going to use here is I'm going to give it a bit of a key first. So I'm just going to use some of these abrasive pads. This is a 320. So I'm just going to key it up a little bit. Not a lot. Right, so hopefully you can see that. We don't want to overwork it. Everything about this is, for me, doing these repairs, it's all about being delicate. All right, this is not a car body repair where we're applying a lot of filler that you work it really hard. You don't want to be doing that. Right, let's move you up. Okay, here I am. So the product we're going to use now, this is a low temp vinyl repair product. It's the FX9. It comes from Viper. Viper products, you can find them on here. So in the 20 or so years that I've been doing this, this is definitely the best company I've found for leather interior repair products. We all have our favorites, but this is the one that seems to deliver. They've got a range of products like the Pro Grain that I've just used, some other fillers, and they've not failed me today, so that's what I'm judging it on. Right, what I like about this one, this is a low temp product. It's also black. So if you get the right vinyl that you're repairing, you don't need to dye it. You can almost get away with just putting this product on. So that's what we're going to go with. And you'll see in a moment. Let me just do a quick check. We'll move you back down. Right, let's just check how this is curing. Like I said, this cures really quickly. Oh, it's almost there. In fact, it is almost gone off. So you can see how quick that was. I mean, I don't know, what time is it now? So we're looking at maybe 5 minutes. So it needs probably another 5 minutes. I'm just peeling it off, just the edge here. Yeah, you can see it just needs a tiny bit longer. But I'm not using this bit, but hopefully you may, nah, you can't see the grain unfortunately, but there is a grain on there, but you'll probably see it better on this pad. So let's just tidy this up. We'll give it another 5 or so minutes, and then we'll move on to the actual repair. So now would probably be, once I'm just doing this, a good time to ask any questions if you've got any questions, and I can try and answer them. If not, just keep watching, and I'll try and do this at the same time as look at the screen, just in case there are any questions that pop up. But you can see now why I scored around the edge, because it's just gonna give me a really nice rectangle grain amount. It's a little tech tip, little something I do, just keeps it a little bit tidier. But yeah, really quick, goes off so quick, this product, love it, absolutely love it. And it doesn't damage the vinyl or the leather that you want to get the grain out of at all. It'll leave it cleaner because it's pulled everything away if you haven't cleaned it, but it doesn't actually damage it. So, like I said, I'm going to just give that another few minutes, but what we're going to do is, once that's just going to go off, so using a Hobbycraft knife, I guess that's what we'd call it. I'm going to put my glasses on for this because as I'm getting older, I'm getting blind. And I broke them. Well, let's see where it is. Oh no, it's not these ones. These were actually fixed. I broke the other ones. Right, so we're going to put a little bit of this product on here. And the way we're going to cure that product is using a Hobbycraft Iron.
This one is digital. So it's got a digital display on there, so I can adjust it as I wish. Hey Specky, how you doing? And I've also got it's like a bean bag, which is a cooling bag, which I use to help imprint the grain back onto the panel that we're doing. And a little bit of a Teflon sheet. So there's our main products to do this. So let's move you down. Just going to say it seems clean. It looks very normal rubber material. That looks like a rubber type material. Yeah, it's vinyl. It is a vinyl material. So, right, let's get you in the picture here. So there we go. Just use my thumb, my finger. So that's what we're repairing. So I'm going to just spread some of this on. We're just going to do a little bit of filler work first. And by the time we've done this, we'll be able to peel off the graining pad and replicate the grain in here. So just do it. Don't apply too much at a time. Just go a little bit by little bit. All right. If I'm looking like I'm not doing this very well, it's because it's further away from me than I would normally be on the side that the camera is on. And so everything would be close to hand, whereas now I'm having to stretch across this table so that you guys can see it. But hey, we'll get there. Right, so that's it. Just a little bit, yeah? We're building it up slowly. So all I'm going to do is just add a little bit of iron on there and just heat it up. Now, be careful. You want to get this temp right, especially with this kind of material. This vinyl, will melt very easily. So you've got to be careful that you don't damage other areas as you're heating it. All right, so there we go. What we're going to do is I'm going to just put something underneath there. Bear with me. Just so I've got something to lean on. Put that underneath there. Give it the shape. Move you back up. There we are. Right. So put a little bit more product in. But you can see how the hole is already filling. The only reason I've got that little hole that was there right now is because I pulled off the Teflon before it had fully cured. Just cause that's what happens when we do live. So where's my finger? My finger's there. Right, so you can see it, great. Oh, can you see it? Or it's all waves. I'm hoping you can see this, guys, because obviously I can only see my screen. So yeah, I believe we can see it now. There we are. Right. So back on with the hobby iron. I'm probably going to turn this down. I've got it at 165 degrees because this is a low curing product, and also this vinyl can melt very easily. I'm going to go down to about 139, and we're just going to keep an eye on it. So just literally, I'm working with the tip of the iron, yeah? I haven't got the whole iron surface down there. If you put the whole iron surface down there, you run the risk of melting everything. Beanbag on there, also acts as a cooling block as well. So let's see what we've got. So there we are. So it's filling the crack up, the little hole up. But you can see it's flat because haven't imprinted any grain on it yet. So it's actually taking the grain pattern from the Teflon sheet, which is as expected. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit more on. We don't need to overdo it. Like I said, everything with this is delicate, which is bizarre because I can't say that I'm actually the most delicate person. And I probably should have switched my other phone off. Excuse that interruption. There we go. Somebody probably saying, oh, you're on the internet. Never mind. Let me put that on silent in a moment. And we'll just switch that phone off. On silent. Oh, nothing. I've won a competition or something like that. Internet service providing. Right. So there we go. All right, that's it. So now you can see we've filled the hole, which I'm pleased with. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back here. We're going to now peel off the grain. So like I said, it's all gone off. Hopefully you can see me do that. I'm just putting my hobby knife underneath there. And it just peels off nice. You can see why I've now cut it into a perfect square. And you can see the grain. So see how it's taken that grain out of the vinyl? And so what we're going to do is we're now going to imprint this grain onto the area that we want to work. And this is where the magic is. This is the bit I love. This is the bit that can also go horribly wrong. So if it goes wrong, don't blame me, blame InstaLive. Right, so what we want to do is put that, now look, let's take you up. So at this stage, you could sometimes, depending on the product that you're working on, so if it's a leather, it requires more heat, so we'd be probably working with a slightly different filler. And off the top of my head, I think it's something like Duraflex they do is the filler. So it would be working with that one. And you'd need slightly more heat, so you'd be doing it longer. But because we're working on the vinyl that doesn't require a lot of heat, so low temp vinyl, and the actual products are low temp vinyl, we don't need to apply any more product to this. We can just go with the product that we've already put on to fill the hole. So yeah, let's move you down. And now there we go. Yeah, just using my thumb, my finger just to identify it for myself. So hopefully you can all see that. Just tell me, John, or Bodytech, can you guys see that okay? Because this is the bit I don't want you to miss. So if you can't see it, I'll move the camera up and down. So just give me a little bit of feedback there, that would be great. Just yes or no, yeah, you can see it, no, you can't see it. Yes, okay, brilliant, thanks Becky. Right, so what we do is we put that on there. Okay, so we've got the grain side down, so that's the side with the grain, you can see it catching in the light. Put that down, so you've got the smooth side above it. Put your Teflon sheet on top of that. Now make sure you know where you're going to be heating, because you don't want to heat an area that you don't need to. So we're roughly looking around that area where my finger is. Then you need to just keep your iron on there for a little bit longer. The heat's going to go through the Teflon sheet, through your graining pad that you just made, and imprint, if this all works successfully, on the pressure of it, onto my vinyl underneath. So you just cool it down, add a bit of pressure on there. And you can see why I like this, hopefully, you can see why I like this sort of beanbag cooling block, because it just takes the shape of whatever I'm trying to imprint on. So here we go. No, it's a fail. But that's what happens when you go live. So let's put a little bit more product. I think the problem there was I actually didn't put enough heat. No, of course I didn't, because I turned the iron down, didn't I? Right, turn the iron back up to about 165 we're going to go for. 165, I'm just going to put a small skim of this on here as well. So when I've done my videos, and if any of you have seen them, of the time lapses of me doing this, and you all think, wow, that looks amazing, and how easy it looks, it is actually really, really difficult. And I have failed so many times doing these repairs that, you know, when I get them absolutely right, I'm over the moon. And something to know about this is you've got to learn how to stop, because you can sometimes think just that one extra grain that I need to put on there, or one extra time to repair it. And what happens then, I'm just waiting for the iron to, so look, it's more heat for the layers, material from sheet, yep, and rub them off. Yeah, that's right, I forgot the heat. So, oh yeah, so once that's heating up, so yeah, so there is a fine line to know when to stop. And it's a bit like when you guys are working with body filler as well. You know, you keep skimming it, you think, oh, let me just get that final skim. You need to stop. Sometimes you need to say, no, that's enough, I'll work it. And it's exactly the same with this. And often I've thought, well, you know, maybe I need to do one more heat imprint onto there, and then it's become a massive job and I've regretted it. So it's always best to stop just before that point when you think you need that extra one. So look, the iron's up to heat again. So let's try and imprint that for you. So we'll move you back down. There we go. Okay, so I applied a little bit more product. I've turned the heat up, and this time we should be going really nice. Let me just clean that off. Right. So this should now give us a nice imprint. If not, I'm giving up this job, and I'm definitely not doing one of these live again, because it is quite a lot of pressure on doing a live demo like this, because I just know how hard, even though it looks easy, how hard this particular type of repair can be. So I'm just trying to apply that pressure on there to imprint the grain as it cools down. Hopefully I got it hot enough this time. Let me just feel that. No, I probably need a little bit more heat. Let's just put a little bit more on there. So you can see I'm not so much on the end now, I'm actually using a larger surface here just to get the heat in there, because it doesn't matter if I imprint the grain around the actual repair area, because at least it will blend it in nicely. So that's not going to do any damage. And in fact, sometimes actually, I've found that it's helped to do that. Make sure you don't push on the edge of your rectangle mold, because you'll then imprint that, and that's not what you want. Right, let's have a look. I think, yeah. So I'm hoping you can see that I've got, where is it? So that's where I did the repair. So you can hopefully see the imprint in there now. Can you see that pattern? Hold on, there we go. So it's slightly darker shade, but it's in there. And you can see by using, so let's take you up so I can see. Right, so I don't need those for this bit. So what we've done here, and I'm smiling because I love it when it works. You know, I absolutely love my job, and when things work out properly, I love it even more. So I could have used a different product. Let me just bear with me a minute. I'm just going to get it. So I can talk to you whilst I'm doing this, hopefully. So this is my little box of goodies that I'm just going to bring over here. And some of you will have already seen this before. So they do a range of different products. Some of them are air dried, that says leather paste. Some of them are, there's another air dry filler, there we go. And they do actually, which I've used a couple of times, is called a blender oil. So when you've done a repair like this, if you feel you have a sharp edge around the outside and it's not blended in nicely, you can use this blender oil and it basically will melt. It's a bit like a fade out material, so it'll melt your imprinted molded area into your original repair. But back to what I was going to say to you, Duraflex. So that's a really good product. So if I'm doing something that's got a hole in it and I need to create strength, I tend to use this product. And this product has little fibers in it. And I've said some of this to you guys before, but it's a different color. So you can imagine if I was using this gray one now, we would have had to colored it. But because I've used this black one, it actually blends in really well. And where the car seat's going to be, you can hardly see it. So I'm going to just clean it up. And do you know, I didn't even take any pictures. Oh well, I forgot to take pictures. And so the customer's going to be over the moon with that. And it means that I haven't actually had to add any dye to the seat. So it's all stayed pretty much as original as possible, which on a nice old car is what it's all about. So that's it. We'll just run through the products that we've used again, or that I've used to help you out. And then if you have any questions that you'd like to ask me, you're more than welcome to. So I cleaned it off with some solvent degreaser. It needed to be cleaned with solvent degreaser. But I also have from I think a company called Malco. They produce a really good leather and vinyl cleaner, which I like to use. But I do have some new stuff coming in, hopefully this week, this week's finished, so next week coming in. So I'm looking at cleaning it up and send it out, yeah. So looking at doing that. Also, you need a little hobby knife. You need a little bean bag. Yeah, so it takes the flex. You can see how that will just take any contour of any seat that you're repairing, so that's a brilliant product. To get your grain, knee pad, you need something like this, Viper Pro Grain. Now, look, there is a company that sells this in the UK. Oh, we've got a question come in. Log, how much you love the work? It's only rare to see this. Yeah, I do absolutely love my work. I don't like cars. I've got no interest in cars, but I absolutely love my work. And I love being able to sort of help you guys out as well. If you can come away from one of these live videos with a little bit more knowledge on something, then that's a bonus for me. Yeah, so back to this product. It's a 2-pack product. I believe there is a company that does sell them in the UK, but I tend to just import all mine in because I buy quite a lot of it in bulk and it saves money, but it's expensive to get into the UK. So that there, mixed on a onion board of some kind, or where you can, if you have the cartridge gun, use their premixer. I don't tend to use these because you get a lot of wastage in the tube. It's minimal, but in my mind it sounds like a lot of wastage in the tube. And then what you get is you get your mold and the grain. So we've replicated the grain on there, which we can then use to imprint onto the area that we're repairing. You need a Teflon sheet to just stop things from sticking together. And then the product that we actually used for this repair was the Viper FX9, which is a low temp, it actually says there, what does it say? For low temp door panel. Yeah, so it's actually a low temp vinyl repair product. It works really well on Range Rovers, Land Rovers, where you've got the black door trim and the seatbelts always get caught in it. This is a really good product for that because you can often just use this product and you don't need to apply any dye on top of it. And it's black, which is fantastic. So, and fantastic for what we're doing today. So that's that. It just requires curing under a low temp, which to cure it, I use the ProLux. I've had this for ages as well. This is the ProLux digital LED temp gauge on there, so I can adjust it according to however I want it. So your initial cure of this product is normally at around sort of 130, 140 is temperature degrees C, so that's good. And then when you're doing your curing, remember to turn it up like I did, so that you get the heat to go through those two different layers and imprint onto the grain. I think that's it. Can you use them all? Yes. So if any of you don't know who's just asked me that question, that's Richard from Kovacs. It's Friday for Rich and he's on a holiday soon, so he's on wind down. But Rich, yes, these, once you've taken the mold, you can keep them. And I do have several of them obviously over the years, and you can normally tell by just looking at the grain on there whether it can be used on a different surface. Because I have two of these to do, so I have this one, and if you hold on a minute, I have, where are we? Oh, there we go. So you can see the rip in this one. So I've got a rip in this one to do as well. Yes, sorry, I'm not accepting any live drawing requests. Not after my debacle with somebody a few months back. So yeah, just reuse it. Keep it. If you can't, it's a struggle to actually write on the back there what you've replicated. So you just need to go and look at what the texture's like. And so yeah, that's a good way to do that. Keep a little file, or you could keep a little file for that. I'm not so good at keeping files, so they end up in my box. That's it folks. So, and you can see, I just wipe it off. So where I took the imprint, it's all clean now. All I need to do is just add a little bit of vinyl product on there and it's done. And where the repair was, we can, I think, hold on a minute. Right, so that's where we've repaired. So hopefully you can see that we've got the grain all the way through there. Yeah, there you go, catch the grain. So, okay, that's it, I'm done. That's a little vinyl repair demo for you all. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or you need any more sort of advice or tips or information on what I've used, please feel free to send me a DM. Also, give Viper products a follow if you don't already, and you're into these kind of repairs, because they do have some great products. Finally, there is for anyone who does UV curing, there's a little giveaway that's happening, and it closes on Monday. Today's Friday the 6th, and it closes on Monday actually, I put that date wrong. Closes on Monday anyway. I put the 8th, but it's actually the 9th. So, oops. But that closes, so if you want to enter that, please do. And then I have a couple of other great stuff coming up soon. Okay, that's it. Thank you for joining me. Have a good one.